Amazon. It's said that its waters boil with the heat of the sun. Many have set out in search of the river and its mystical healing properties, some never to be seen again, others falling prey to the many jungle spirits. However, spanning the depths of the river is the Yakumama, a powerful Amazonian spirit known as the Mother of Waters. Taking the shape of a giant serpent, the Yakumama births hot and cold waters.
It's so fascinating how you have these this cold water and this hot water kind of colliding together and creating this boiling temperature. What I also find really fascinating is that it is not fed through volcanic thermal heat as most hot springs are. I think they said it was about 4,000 miles away from the nearest volcano. So it's kind of this phenomenon that is one of a kind. And it's just so fascinating. And I love that we got to go along this journey with him. I liked, I felt like I could see his the little boy coming out in him. The moments of going and testing the water with his hand and, oh, I hope I don't fall in because that would be a really bad time. And, him making coffee, like a hot coffee in the morning by the river is really, really, it was cute. And it added this really human perspective to it. And I really enjoyed getting to hear all of the lore behind it and the stories of how it came to be and the spirits that live there and govern it and the powerful energies that are there that you kind of need to be guided through with a professional, with a shaman, in order to ensure your safety and safe passing. I thought was really fascinating. Visually, I loved the drone shots. I loved getting to see the overhead of the forests and everything like that, and getting to learn about the people there and the cultures.
I enjoyed the journey of the spiritual adventure to find this dangerously hot running water that's a portion of the Amazon in Peru. Had never heard of this. It's new to me. I love hearing about new places like no other in the world. I liked how the guest host pointed out the nature sounds before sunrise in the jungle, the insects and the bird sounds. That was marvelous. And I also like how the filmmaker left in his bit about Starbucks and making his hot cocoa and coffee on the rock with the water from the river while saying it would be deathly to fall in. I enjoyed that he had that sense of humor to lift the tension from the danger of the river. Most of all, I appreciated the medicinal properties of the plants that they use there in this specific location that aid people with their mental health. I thought it's really important to point this out, that these things still work and can be used safely.
I like the voiceover narration. It's a very powerful and very certain and sure. It makes you trust the information that they're conveying and that it's accurate and true. I like that the narrator has a great voice and really guides you through the story very well. I like how they personified the river and what impact it had and has on the natives. I like how they sort of depict how much it means to those who live around it and who live near it.
It was beautiful, and what a tale, a boiling river and the cold waters and the hot waters meet and shaped like a serpent's head, and there's tales of conflict and spirituality around it, and really, really interesting, just absolutely fascinating, and it was, you have to really admire the fact that the fellow in this documentary and his crew heard about this boiling river and went out to find it. They went to very remote, rarely seen place, and they found it. So you really got to credit them for that. And this was a wonderfully shot piece. They're out there in the jungle trying to survive, but they're at the same time they're making art. They're making this film, and they're shooting it beautifully. It's wonderfully made, wonderfully edited, wonderfully narrated. The writing was good. The voiceover performed well. The interviews were performed well. So yeah, great job on this. I'm absolutely fascinated by this.
Really loved that you guys set up the legend of this, and does it even exist? And this great suspenseful music really pulled me in and kept me intrigued throughout. I thought it was well written and the scenes were great. The photography was amazing, cinematography. Um, I love that this water has mystic healing properties, and it's sort of like the spirit is there. And then it gives birth to hot and cold waters. And it was like treacherous to get to. So kudos to you for taking us along this treacherous and sitting on these rocks in the middle of boiling water. Really appreciate that, as we were able to see all these beautiful shots of the terrain. The beautiful sunrise shot was great. And I liked that you presented to us how unique it is, because the closest volcanic system is over 400 miles away, which is, I never even knew the point or how hot springs were even, created. So I thought this was so informative. And also that it's 80 feet wide and 20 feet deep, and it's like runs at least 4 miles. So now knowing that and knowing how hot springs work, that's pretty amazing. It's one of a kind for sure. And I love that there's medicine still brewed with this and helps people as well.
Very fascinating, because like the documentary entails, it just showcases how mysterious the world can really be. There's so much science, but also mythology and history and storytelling that comes just from this river, because of the fact that it's quite literally a boiling river. Um, so the concept of it alone is so peculiar, and again, while there's a lot of focus on like the scientific benefits, story aspect, I found it very intriguing hearing a lot of these stories and folk tales that came from this river, of all these mysteries uh, that came from something so extraordinary.
Boiling river, which is actually quite interesting. I would really love myself to go there and touch with my hand such a boiling river. I mean, such a unusual thing. I really enjoy that. I also enjoy the fact that there is this quest to get to the river, and there is this mix. It's not just about the river; it's also the mystical part that is around the river, that people living nearby have been um, believing for thousands of years. All these mystical journey that is behind the river, around the river, everywhere.